What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sports Talk with Jet. I'm Joshua. Whew. Sure have not made a video in a while, but I'm going to make y'all one today. And y'all all know the big game coming up, the Egg Bowl. Most important game that state's football history, except for maybe a national championship if they ever make one. But this is the Egg Bowl, big rivalry game. It's number 20 Ole Miss takes on the Bulldogs. Ole Miss ranked 8-3, and like I said, number 20. Bulldogs 7-4, unranked at the moment. But I'm just gonna give y'all some stats, and then I'll give y'all my predictions. So you don't have to listen to the stats, but you can if you want to. So let's start off with state. So your starter is Will Rogers. The junior quarterback had a really good season. Except, you see, sometimes he just has not, he just has not had it. He's just been throwing and just missing them by a lot. But he hasn't thrown that many picks, and that's what I'm proud of. So he's 359 for 527 on the season, with 3,474 yards and 32 touchdowns. So he has had a very good rushing season. Not a rushing season. I meant passing. I just didn't even think what I said there. So he's had a good passing season. Rushing the ball, he don't run. I feel like he could. If he could run the ball, we would be so good this year, but he just doesn't. I think he's scared to. Seen him running a couple times, but not many. Jackson Dart likes to run the ball a lot more than he does. Then we got some backups. Sorry Robertson, 6 of 11, 23 yards. Not a touchdown. Chance Lovertick, 6 for 6, 36 yards and a touchdown. So, some alright, reliable backups there. Alright, let's get to running the ball. Jo'Cavious Marks, Woody Marks, as you hear on the TV. 89 attempts, 456 yards, and he has a 5.1 average. I don't have the touchdowns with me, so I don't know how many touchdowns he's got, but I'm pretty sure he's got maybe 8 rushing. Not very sure. Dylan Johnson, 77 attempts, 415 yards, 5.4 average yards a carry. So don't got his rushing touchdowns. Maybe he has 5. I don't know. But he's good. Another running back. Simone Price, J.J. Jernigan, and Javaris Buford. We've seen them some. Price, we'll probably see him in the Egg Bowl. Maybe 23 attempts, 82 yards, 3.6 yards a carry. But I don't know if we will or not. Let's get to throwing the ball now. Let's see our receivers. We've got Rufus Harvey. 45 receptions, 429 yards, and 9.5 yards a reception. So, good, reliable receiver right there. I think he could be a tight end, but he looks more like a receiver. He's not that big, but we don't run tight ends in our offense. Like Austin Williams is supposedly a tight end, but he's our wide receiver. All right, Caleb Ducking, big, tall, number 4. Oh, my gosh, just throw it up to him. He'll catch on your head. 42 receptions, 450 yards, 10.7 yards a reception. He is dominant. All right, let's get to Rara. That's my boy right there. 42 receptions, 599 yards, 14.3 yards a reception. So I'm pretty sure he's our leader in yards and yards reception, but I could be wrong. All right, Tulu Griffin. His real name's Ledietrich, but everybody calls him Tulu. He has got 33 receptions, 410 yards, 12.4 yards a reception. And also he returns kickoffs. He's got 19 attempts, 613 yards, and a touchdown. Boy's fast. He's real speed. Austin Williams, senior, 31 receptions, 263 yards, and 8.5 a reception. So he's done pretty good. Jaden Wally, 24 receptions, 262 yards, and 10.9 a reception. And Justin Robinson, 22 receptions, 234 yards, and 10.6 a reception. Got some other guys. Jameer Calvin's a senior. He was more involved last season, but I think we just got some more receivers, and so he's not as involved anymore. He's got 11 receptions, 58 yards, and 5.3 reception. Christian Ford, I'm pretty sure his nickname's Scooby. I've seen him on TV. I think he's like number 24 maybe. I don't know, weird wide receiver number. But he's done all right this season. He's a senior. Then we've got Antonio Harmon from Kosciuszko, Mississippi. 5 receptions, 61 yards, 12.2 average. And then you got some other guys like Caden Pope, Jordan Mosley, Xavier Thomas. Not that big in the receiving game. Only 2 receptions, 4 yards, and 2.0 in reception. But punts, 13 attempts, 168 yards, and a touchdown. Then we've also got Marquez Dortch. Just saw him in the last game. That's it. All right. Now we'll tell you about our kicking stats. So, as you know, we have struggled with kickers worse than Alabama has. Just worse. Last year, our kickers cost us a game against Arkansas, maybe another game or two. I just don't know. But this year, they've missed some field goals and some extra points. We've gone with 2 kickers this year, and Massimo Biscardi. 21 for 23 on extra points, 5 for 8 on field goals. It's not the greatest stats, but his field goals. So if y'all didn't see the Auburn game, the ball was snapped and they called a timeout. So they were winning by 3 with about 40 seconds left. Ball was snapped, but they called a timeout, even though the ball was snapped. So he drained that one, but came back. They still had another timeout. The ball was snapped. They called a timeout, even though the ball was snapped. So he drained that one. But then the third one, I was like, oh my gosh, come on, Biscardi. And he drained it. And they could not do anything to ice him. He was just perfect. He scared me. And we ended up winning that game in overtime. But let's get you to our other kicker, Ben Rayborn. 20 for 22 on extra points, 4 for 6 on field goals. It's not that great of stats either. I don't know why we can't find a kicker. If I'm likely to, I'm going out and I'm finding a 5-star kicker. Alright, I'm going to tell you our top 5 or 6 defensive players. Jet Johnson, the senior linebacker, number 44. 93 total tackles, 1 sack, and 1 fumble recovery. So a bunch of tackles for this guy. He's a beast. Nathaniel Watson, people call him Buki Watson. 98 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 interception, 1 forced fumbled. Whew. Watson's just blowing it out of the water. Tyler Sweet, senior linebacker. 48 total tackles, 5 sacks, 1 pick, and 2 forced fumbles. Golly. That sure do have some beasts. And let me just tell you, we have a bunch of beasts. It's hard to pick out 5 or 6 guys that are your best. Colin Duncan, 46 total tackles, 2 sacks, 1 pick, and 2 forced fumbles. So for safety, senior safety, that's pretty good. D. Cameron Richardson, junior cornerback, 68 total tackles and 1 fumble recovery. For a corner, that's pretty good too. Now, here comes arguably the greatest corner in college football, maybe in Mississippi State's history. Emmanuel Forbes, the junior cornerback. 30 total tackles, not that many, but just wait. 6 picks, 3 of those returned for pick sixes. So I can't tell you how many he's got in his career, but I'm pretty sure. Is it 8? I don't know, but he has a good many. But that'll wrap it up for Mississippi State's stats. Now for Ole Miss's stats. We have got Jackson Dart, the sophomore quarterback from USC. 171 completions on 283 attempts. 2,363 yards and 16 touchdowns. So, good stats right there. Then they got Luke Altmaier and Kinky Dent as their backups. Alright. I'm sorry if I say their receivers wrong because I'm sorry. Quinshon, I don't know. Y'all gonna have to correct me if you see me. Quinshon Judkins, freshman running back, 229 attempts, 1,385 yards, 6.0 carry. So, good stats. I think that they're going to run all over us tomorrow. I just think they are. I hope I'm wrong though. Zach Evans, 131 attempts, 899 yards, 6.9 in average. Remember, I don't have their touchdown stats. Sorry about that, guys. You can look them up. But that's some good stats, too. They've got some reliable running backs. Ulysses Bentley IV, 16 attempts, 73 yards, 4.6 in average. So, I mean, if Evans and Judkins get injured, I mean, bring him in. And Judkins is just a freshman, so they're going to have him for a couple more years. And then we've got Isaiah Wallard, Matt Jones, and Bo Miller, who also have ran the ball. All right, their receivers. They have got Malik Heath. Man, left state, went to Ole Miss. Now, I'm not doing anything against either one of those teams, and I know y'all, I'm a diehard State fan. But why would you leave State to go to your rival? Or, like, if you're at Ole Miss, why would you leave Ole Miss to go to your rival, State? It just doesn't make any sense. Malik, I don't know why he did that, but must not have been a fan of either one of those two. But, okay. It's fine with me. He's a senior, 47 receptions, 754 yards, 16 in average. I've also got Jonathan Mingo, 41 receptions, 768 yards, 18.7 average. Some good stats. Jordan Watkins, 28 receptions, 363 yards, and 13.0 average. He's also 11 attempts, 69 yards on the punt. They've got Dayton Wade, 16 receptions, 148 yards, 9.3 average. He's returned 12 kicks for 278 yards. We've also got J.J. Henry, Jalen Robinson, and Quay Davis. Quay Davis, I don't know. Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin run tight end formation, unlike State. And they've got Michael Trigg, sophomore tight end, 17 receptions, 156 yards, and 9.2 average. And Casey Cayley, junior tight end, 3 receptions, 17 yards, 5.7 in average. All right, their kicker, he's actually hasn't missed an extra point. 46 for 46 on extra points. 12 for 14 on field goals, though. So, still, at least he hasn't missed an extra point like our kickers. 2 of them has missed 4. All right, you ready for their top defensive players? Troy Brown, senior linebacker, 77 total tackles, 0.5 sacks. Good stats right there. A.J. Finley, senior safety, 67 total tackles, 2 interceptions, fumble force, and fumble recovery. I don't know, that could have been the same play. Could have forced the fumble and recovered it. But, I don't know. Tysheem Johnson, sophomore safety, 63 total tackles. All right. Otis Reese, senior safety. They've got a bunch of senior safeties. 70 total tackles, 1 fumble recovery, and 3 sacks. I guess they run a little safety blitz. Another safety, Asheem Young, junior safety, 54 total tackles, 0.5 sacks, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery. That would do it for Mississippi State and Ole Miss's stats. Alright, you ready for this? I think if we can stop Ole Miss running the ball, we will win this game. If Will Rogers has his stuff and he can throw the ball, we will win this game. But my final predictions: State 27. Ole Miss 21. Mississippi State wins 27, Ole Miss 21. That is my final predictions, and I hope I'm right. And be ringing that cowbell loud all day. Even though I'm not going to the game, I'm still going to be sitting in my recliner ringing that cowbell. So like and subscribe and tell others about this channel. More content is coming soon.